IG, YouTube, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? Y'all already know, drop the city you chiming in from, all that good stuff. Look like they messed up on my title. Top 3 ways to building $1 million net worth. Did you know it's only 3 ways that you have? You don't have many options. And I'm going to go over those 3 ways here today. I'm only be on here maybe about 30 minutes. Good evening from New Jersey. What's going on? South Carolina's in the house. We got YouTube, we got Instagram. And also, I need you all to let me know. I'm thinking about going back on the road for 2025. 2025 is my 10th year anniversary. And so, if you would like me to come to your city, I need you to drop it down below in the comments. Send me a DM. Let me know what city we should come to next year. Next year, we're looking to go back on the road. I'm looking to do maybe 10 to 12 cities. I'm actually in talks with a few major financial corporate sponsors. So, you just never know. But I need y'all to let me know where to come to. But today I'm talking about the top 3 ways of building $1 million net worth. If you're on here, type in the word net worth. Net worth. If you're trying to build $1 million net worth, what is your plan? I want to know, what is your plan? What is your plan? I got YouTube, I got Instagram. I'm talking about the top 3 ways to build $1 million net worth. I'm seeing people want me to come to Milwaukee. They want me to come to Philly. Let me see. Where else y'all want me to come to? Type in net worth, because that's what we're talking about here today. That's what we're talking about here today. I was actually just looking at a video on TikTok, and it talked about this rapper whose album made $11 million and he made 100,000. Why is that important to know? Because making money is not net worth. I know people who make a lot of money, but their bills is killing them. I know several people who make 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, and they're poor. They're poor. Expenses up to here. Like, not here, but it's like they're fighting to keep their head above the water. So we're gonna talk about top 3 ways of building $1 million net worth. Because here's the thing that I'm learning. And for a lot of people who don't know, I've been in this industry. Well, I've been an entrepreneur since 2003. I've been doing what I'm doing here now professionally for 10 plus years. You can actually go to the Secretary of State and research how long we management has been in business. It's been technically longer than 10 years because, for those who don't know, I actually had a company before We Management Services that was called We Management Group. And I actually had to dissolve that company because that was the company that was tied to the tax business. And we ended up dissolving it. So, yeah, I mean, I actually have history. I got receipts. I've been doing what I'm doing. I've helped a lot of people make a lot of money. I've helped a lot of people retire their spouse. I've helped a lot of people buy homes. I've helped a lot of people put their kids through private school. I've helped a lot of people put their kids in through college. I've helped a lot of people start businesses. I've helped a lot of people get access to a lot of funding. And I've helped a lot of people help a lot of people. There's probably very few people in this credit funding real estate that has not went through my process or my lineage or an extension that has been tied to me. So I say all of that not to impress you, but to impress upon you, I got receipts. Okay. So I'm coming on today to talk to you about top 3 ways of building $1 million net worth. And I know the title just says top, then a hashtag, but it should say top 3. Let me type it, my webinar link here on Instagram. And tomorrow I am hosting another free webinar. You can go to roundtreemasterclass.com. And I know tomorrow's the election. Look, I don't want you going into 2025 with no excuses. I'm going to show you how to create your own economy, regardless of who's in the White House. Now, whoever's in the White House could possibly impact you if you don't have enough data. I know a lot of people are thinking about taxes. Well, if you don't have anything to offset taxes, it's going to impact you. A lot of people are worried about the cost of inflation. Well, if you don't have any cash flow coming in, inflation is going to impact you. So here's all I can tell you. You need to be on tomorrow's webinar so you can create your own ecosystem, your own economic system, your own whatever. Top 3 ways to build $1 million net worth. So here's something I want to share with you all. There's a word called delusional that comes to mind the more and more I'm on the internet listening to people. The word delusional. Let me read the definition of delusional. The definition of delusional refers to the mental state in which a person holds belief or perceptions that are clearly false or not grounded in reality or truth. Let me read that again. The definition of the word delusional means the mental state in which a person holds beliefs or perceptions that are clearly false or not grounded in reality or truth. And so when I read that definition, what I'm starting to see, or what I'm starting to see as I'm dealing with people, and as I've been working and dealing with people for over 10 plus years, unfortunately, and I'm going to say this respectfully, a lot of people have a high level of delusion of where they are and where they want to go financially. A lot of people are either in delusion or are in a state of delusion where they want to go and currently where they are financially. Here's what I mean. And today we're just going to speak completely transparent. A lot of people have aspirations of being a millionaire. There's a bit of delusion in that thought process. And I say that because people will say this without a plan. I've been sharing this more and more often. It's like, how can people go out here and read all of these motivational books, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, uh, uh, Art of War, 48 Laws of Power, like all of these books that's been like a staple when it comes to personal development, when it comes to making money, and you do the complete opposite of everything you claim you've been reading in those books for the past several years, some of you over a decade. How could you read Think and Grow Rich and do everything opposite of that? How could you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you're doing everything that the poor dad talks about doing? It blows my mind. And as I continue to take and make assessments and working with people, here's one of the conclusions I've come to. So many people go and get advice from people who have less than them. So many people go and get advice from people who are losing. That's a sense of delusion. Why do people go and ask someone of lesser uh, uh, accomplishments of their own their advice? Meaning, I know people who actually have businesses that are, at least keeping the lights on, who will go and get advice from people who don't own a business. And this is why I often say, Who do you listen to? You have to be very careful because people will talk you into a state of financial ruin. And this is where this whole level of delusion is coming into place. We're listening to people on social media who don't have anything, who don't have the track record, and you have more than them. Here's what I mean. A lot of you, what time are you going on for your course? The webinar tomorrow is 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. I know some of you who work 9 to 5 corporate jobs who make more than most entrepreneurs. Now, also, money doesn't solve your problems without a plan. You don't have a strategy. So, my question to you is, and I would love for you to answer this, and I would love for anybody who would like to jump in the chat on Instagram. I would love to have this dialogue. Are you in financial delusion? Are you in financial delusion? If I talk to 10 people, all of them want to be a millionaire. No millionaire work ethic, no millionaire mindset, no millionaire strategies, not even willing to take the risk that millionaires are willing to take. No millionaire accountability, none of that. To most people, it's intimidating taking advice from people further. Why would someone and I'm open to that dialogue, but why it baffles me when people say things like, oh, I'm fearful or we're intimidated to take advice and this like we'll take relationship advice from people and you'll screw up your relationships. You take career advice from people with no career. You take health advice from people who are not in shape. I'm trying to figure out the delusion of people. Well, I'm really not because I don't sign up for that class. But I'm really asking a rhetorical question. Why is it that people take advice from people who are losing in life? I get it because there's no accountability there. Meaning people will go and people can have a preconceived notion of something that they know is wrong and will ask 10 people until they get the response that they want to hear. Forgot to pin this on Instagram. You can go to roundtreemasterclass.com, sign up for my free webinar tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be touching on creating your own economy, no matter who's in office. No, still in the planning phase, looking at mentors such as Will Roundtree. You said you've been in a planning phase. What are you planning on? Northern Downpour. I've been seeing you come on here for about over a year or so. Because here's the thing. When people say they're planning, you have to actually go out and execute on something to see what works and what doesn't work. So are you planning or are you a procrastinator? Because what I'm finding is that most people are procrastinators. They're not really planners because planners still do. Because then you do, and then you figure out what works and what doesn't work. See, there was a point in my life where I used to lie to myself to make it seem like I was doing something. I used to use words like, oh, I'm grinding, I'm getting to the bag, I'm hustling, I'm doing this. I'm like, I used to come up with all of these adjectives to make it feel like I was doing something, but I was really lying to myself. I was saying I was an investor, but I wasn't investing. I was saying that I'm a boss, but I was scared to flip the bill for something. I was saying that I'm grinding, but I'm still in the same place. I was saying I believed in the concepts of think and grow rich and rich dad, poor dad, and millionaire mindset and 10-hour work week. I was telling people I was reading those books, but I was living a lie. I just wanted to feel cool. I just wanted to be in the entrepreneurship social circles. But everything that I was doing behind closed doors didn't match what I was out there telling people. So I often say, so again, I'll say, are you living in a state of financial delusion? Because the old Will Roundtree back in 2010, I was. I was in financial delusion. But don't worry, I'm gonna tell you three ways you can build a $1 million in net worth. Because that's what it's about. I'd rather have a net worth over cash. Because here's the thing, when people, and I hate when people pose this question on the internet, would you rather have an 850 credit score or $1 million cash? And for most people, you're going to ruin both of them because you didn't take care of the cash you're making now and your credit is still horrible. So it doesn't matter which path you pick if you don't have a plan in place. Yes, I've been a millionaire over the years. My income has added up to 1,050K times 20 years, million, right? I don't know what it is you're trying to say. I apologize. I'm not understanding that. So whether you got an 850 or $1 million, if you're in a bad position now, neither one of those things help you without a plan. Just go ask all of the people who got all that COVID money. They had good credit and got free money, and they're in a worse position today. It's not the economy. They didn't plan properly. See, we got to stop using the economy on everything. Yes, the economy is impacting a lot of people, but a lot of people had several get out of jail had several financial get out of jail free cards, meaning didn't have to pay rent. You was able to forbearance your student loans, forbearance your car note. You was able to forbearance all of this debt. You got all of this free money. You got PPP money. You got EIDL money. You got unemployment money. You improved your credit. You got 40,000 from Navy Federal. You got 10,000 from Sam's Club Mastercard. You got another 10,000 from Capital One. You got a Platinum American Express card. You was able to get all of the cars you want to go out there and drive for free, and yet you're still in a bad position financially. So no, whether you have an 850 or $1 million, it's not going to improve your situation without a plan. So again, my question is are you in a place of financial delusion? When are you going to admit that you don't have the answers yet? When are you going to admit that everything you've tried is not working and it hasn't? Because you're not doing it with a plan. You're just doing it because you think you can make a lot of money. Because see, here's what I share with people all the time. Okay. And I'm not saying that the plan that I preach on is the one and only. I just know that this plan works for me and it's worked for a lot of other people and it's been tried, tested, and proven to have worked for a lot of people who have went this route. See, when you position yourself to learn how to play within this system, and again, I want everybody to go, don't buy Will Roundtree. Okay. I want you to go and read the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island. You can even watch it and listen to it on YouTube for free. You can also go and watch on YouTube the Secret of Oz. Okay. You don't have to buy my word. But once you learn how to play and operate within this system, you will never have to work for money again. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire. I'm not even saying you're going to be 100,000aire. But what I will say is that once you learn how to operate within the system, you will never have to work for money again. Because what you do is you start to learn how to make money make you money. You start to learn that the only way that you build that $1 million net worth is you have to leverage yourself and learn how to leverage money. It is not about working harder. It's not about having three jobs. Now you can work your 9 to 5 and still build a $1 million net worth, but you can't if you don't know how to operate within this system. It's impossible. So I'll ask again. I'm gonna keep asking this question. Again, you can go to roundtreemasterclass.com, sign up for my free webinar that I'm hosting tomorrow. I know we got the elections tomorrow, but here's what I will say. It doesn't matter who gets into office. The banks are still printing money. The banks are still gonna lend for real estate. People still gonna need somewhere to live. You still gotta work. You still gotta pay bills. You still gotta feed your family. Like, it doesn't stop. So why not learn how to operate within the system of whatever the game rules that are going to be given to us? This is why people can go through three recessions in a global pandemic and still come out unfazed, because they take whatever the rules are and learn how to adopt to those rules. When you learn how to play within this system called economics. See, the reason we feel we don't get proper equality during election is because we don't bring anything to the table economically. As long as you don't own your neighborhoods, you won't have a voice. Period. Life is still going to go on past this election. So instead of us getting bent up out of shape, let's learn how to play within that system. And so I'm going to go over real quickly the only three ways to build a $1 million net worth, regardless of who's in office. It's not going to change. As a matter of fact, all of the candidates play these games. All of the candidates play these games. So why not everybody type in the chat? The few people who on here following me, type follow the money. Type follow the money. Why not follow the money? Why would I not play the games that the affluent are playing? Why would I not play the games the way that the affluent are playing? Why would I not play the games the way that the corporate companies are playing them? You're operating off of old information, outdated strategies. That stuff that mama taught me, and daddy, and big mama, and big papa, that stuff doesn't work anymore today. And it's been proven. It's been proven. Are you in financial delusion? For those who just joined me, I'm going to be talking about the top 3 ways to build a $1 million net worth. But I do have a question for you all. And please feel free to chime in. I love when people join the live and get interactive, because I'm willing to have that dialogue. This is what it's about. I don't care about what rappers are beefing. I don't care about who performing at the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be there no matter who performing. You see what I'm saying? Like, we just have to learn how to play the game. I don't get caught up in the mess of life. I don't get caught up in the mess of life. So if you're just joining me, the definition of delusion, and I want to ask you all, are you in financial delusion? The definition of delusion refers to the mental state in which a person holds beliefs or perceptions that are clearly false or not grounded in reality or truth. And a lot of people are living a financial farce. They're living a lie. They're lying to themselves. They're lying to their family. They're lying to their kids. They're lying to their future. all because they don't know how to play within the system. They don't know how to play within the system. So top three ways. Stacy, how you doing? Top three ways to build $1 million net worth. I didn't say make $1 million. I said build $1 million net worth, because making $1 million doesn't last. But building $1 million net worth, you have forever. So number one, stock market. Yes, you can build $1 million net worth in the stock market. Now, here's my only downfall with the stock market. I don't make cash flow. See, I don't know about you guys and girls. I like getting paid every first of the month, whether I do anything. It feels good to wake up every first through the 10th, because typically that's when my deposits hit my account. It's not always on the first. Anytime between the first and 10th, when I get that direct deposit from all of my doors, see, it allows me to have this predictable stream of revenue. This is outside of what we management does. We management has done seven figures the past 7 years successfully. But outside of what we management does and my other investment portfolios and my IULs and my stock accounts, all of that stuff. But to know every single month, no matter what happens, people have to live and want to live in Will Roundtree's properties. Imagine. And this is why I get so passionate. I once used to sleep in my car, to now where I own assets that will pay me forever. There was once a time when I didn't even have a place to lay my head, but now I own property that will pay me forever. I told my son 2 months ago, I said, son, do you know you're a millionaire? And he was oblivious to it because he's not wrapped up in that world right now. But he doesn't know the powerful, he doesn't know what I created for him will outlive him. What I created for my son will outlive him. Think about how powerful that is. But again, if you're just joining me, top three ways to build $1 million net worth, not how to make $1 million, but build $1 million net worth. Because here's the thing. Every year, we management does over 7 figures in revenue. And guess what? January 1st, I'm back at zero. So number one was stocks. Number two is owning a business. Thank you for the badges, Tiffany Hill Esquire. Make sure y'all go out. If y'all need an attorney, I got one of the best attorneys in the country. Well, she international, so I'm gonna say the world. Tiffany Hill Esquire. She does all my business affairs, my contracts, my trademarks, you name it in business. Tiffany Hill Esquire does it. She's helped a lot of people. She probably is working with your favorite celebrity and your favorite athlete. So y'all better hire her, because I know her rates are about to go up. Per my last invoice, her rates are definitely going up. So anyway, what are the loans called where you put down zero? I've never heard of a loan where you put down zero. So number one, stocks. Top ways to build $1 million net worth. Let me see. I need a good credit repair person. Will too many fakers out here. Well, I mean, I've been in the business over 12, 13 years. So I highly recommend you can either reach out to us, or you can go out there and keep, sourcing people to see who's even going to return your phone calls. But send my team a DM and they'll reach out to you. So number one, top ways to building $1 million net worth is stocks. Referring to a VA loan, possibly zero down. I'm not sure, but you can contact a lender. I'm not a lender, nor am I a realtor. I am a real estate investor. Yes, I do hold classes. I'm hosting a free webinar tomorrow. You can go to roundtreemasterclass.com, completely free. I'm going to show you how to build your own economic economy, no matter what the economy looks like, no matter who's in office. Because here's the thing. Top 3 ways of building $1 million net worth. Stocks is number 1. And this isn't in any particular order. Owning a business is number 2. Now, here's the thing about both of those. Regardless of the economy, both of those are impacted. The stock market is going to move tomorrow, good or bad, who knows? But it doesn't pay me cash flow. Number 2, owning a business. The economy can impact it. Secondly, again, I don't talk about making money. I talk about net worth. Here's why. January 1st, 2025, my company now goes back to 0, and I have to work really hard to make another 7 figures in 2025. So next, in 2 months, we all start back at 0. I don't care what your business is. I don't care what trinkets, potions, lotions, pills, credit, whatever you sell, you start back at 0. January 1st, 2025. And you're going to have to work really, really hard. And guess what? You're going to have to go and get new customers. And guess what? You're going to have to try to upgrade or upsell the current customers. And guess what? You're going to have to spend more money to keep customers coming in 2025, because in 2025 you get more competition, which means that your market shrinks, which means you have to be more creative, you have to be more outgoing, you have to spend more money, you have to have bigger budgets, you got to be on more billboards, you got to spend more for ads. You have to do all of that to continue for your business to make another 6 or 7 figures in 2025. But yeah, you can still build $1 million. But let me tell you what my favorite is, even though I do all 3. Number 3 is real estate. Real estate. Let me tell you why real estate is my favorite. If I had to start all over again and start from scratch, real estate would be my first choice. And here's why. I'm not in competition with anybody. I can buy one building and have $1 million portfolio. And guess what? I don't have to go out and get new clients or new tenants in 2025. That building is still going to stand and is going to continue to keep paying me. And as a matter of fact, every single year, there's going to be a minimum of a 2% appreciation of this $1 million asset every single year, which means, guess what? I can borrow from this $1 million asset every single year completely tax-free. Whereas running that business, you got to pay taxes on it. What you going to do? Keep zeroing out your income? To all my entrepreneurs, y'all gonna keep zeroing out y'all income? Y'all gonna look like y'all poor to the banks, and then when you want to get some money from the bank, you can't because you done zeroed out all your income? Well, guess what? You ain't no millionaire. You ain't 100,000-aire. You done zeroed out your income. See, when you own real estate, I don't have to zero out my income. Or when you have a good tax strategist, you don't have to zero out your income. How does that work? Where rich people say debt makes them rich. That's their money multiplied more. Great question, Andy. And I love that you are asking questions that make sense, as opposed to asking me like, what's my sign? People have come on these lives and said, what's your sign? Like, I've been given like the best breakdown of debt, and they'll ask me like, what's my sign? So Andy asked, how does it work where rich people say debt makes them money? Perfect question. All right, so let me show you an example, Andy. All right, so let's say this is the first card I could find. All right, so Andy, so I'm going to go to the bank, and let's just say I have a line of credit for $100,000 here. Okay, I have a line of credit for $100,000. So you may want to write this down, Andy. Hopefully you have something to write with. I have a line of credit for $100,000. Now, because it's a line of credit and not a loan, This money costs me nothing until I use it. This money costs me nothing until I use it. So this 100,000 can sit on this line of credit until I actually use it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to talk about the strategy that which I do first. I'm now going to go out there and find an asset, cash producing asset. Type that in the chat. I'm going to go out there and find a cash producing asset, preferably something that pays me without me doing anything. I'm 45 years old. I don't want to have to work really, really hard. I'm living my life right now. Okay. I like traveling and eating. All I want to do is trick and travel. That's it. So $100,000. It doesn't cost me anything. I'm going to go and find a cash producing, cash flowing asset. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate how much that asset is going to cost me. Okay. So just for the sake of math, Andy and everybody else, let's say the asset is $100,000 rental property. It's a $100,000 rental property. And don't come on here saying, well, it ain't no places for 100,000. I show y'all every single week. If you want to know, if you want to see where, join my webinar tomorrow, roundtreemasterclass.com. It's free. It's less than those Usher tickets y'all trying to buy. It's less than those Rod Wave tickets y'all trying to, it's less than anything to come and see how to make money so you can go watch Usher in Paris if you want to. Okay. So I'm going to go get a $100,000 asset or $100,000 investment property. All right. So now I only need 20% down for that asset. So let's say this is the asset. I only need, so let's say this is the house because I don't have my little prop houses here. So let's say this is the house. Only need 20% down, which is $20,000. So I'm going to take $20,000 from my 100,000. The bank is going to cover the other 80%. I'm going to buy this property, and then the rent is going to pay the credit, the line of credit, which is the 20,000, as well as the mortgage. Now, here's why so many people suck in business. They will look at this and say, oh man, I'm only making a couple $100 a month after I service the debt. You don't make that on your job. And here's what I mean. Once you make your money on your job and you pay all your bills, you don't have anything left over. Once you put your money in a bank account, it's not making you anything. That business you're trying to run, it's barely surviving. So why not go and use money to go buy money that prints you money, and then this eventually appreciates, because the name of the game is to be able to buy assets for at least 2 to 4 years. This way now you can borrow against the assets and pay yourself through the debt for the rest of your life. That's what I'm going to show you tomorrow. So Andy, you make money leveraging debt by buying assets, not by trying to put it into something where you got to research and develop to see if it'll work. And that's why so many people fail. And that's why I say I will always start if I had to start all over again, I would start with real estate investing first. How many ways can you borrow against your asset house? Great question. You only need to be able to do it once, one way. You borrow against it. But when you borrow against it, you use the money to go make more money. So prime example, let's say over the course of 2 years, you build a $500,000 portfolio. Over the course of 2 years, which you go to college for 4 years and you can't even do it that fast. That's why I love learning about economics and not just traditional education, because economics teaches you how to make money, make you money. That's what economics teach you, and this is what I teach. So imagine It takes you 2 years to build a $500,000 portfolio. You really can do that in 6 months. I just bought an apartment building, $500,000. The value is coming in at about 800,000. I just bought it 3 weeks ago. That's one asset. So let's say over the next 2 years, I'll show you how to build a $500,000 portfolio. Okay. And so then in that 2 years, the property appreciates to 700,000 in 2 years, which is extremely doable. And so now what you're going to do, you're going to go to the bank and get a line of credit for $200,000. You're going to go to the bank and get a line of credit for $200,000. Now, because you borrowed against the asset, you're going to have 30 years to pay that $200,000 back. Write this down, ladies and gentlemen. Because you borrowed against the asset, you're going to have 30 years to pay back that $200,000 at like a 7 or 8% interest rate. Okay? You have 30 years to pay back that $200,000 at a 7 or 8% interest rate. So now, here's how, Andy, going back to your original question, and here's how you can go and buy those Bad Bunny tickets at $1,000. This is why I'm able to go to the Super Bowl and sit on the 7th row. Here's how I'm able to go to the NBA games and sit courtside and fly first class and do all of these things. I don't even show all of this. But here's how I'm able to live that type of life that I used to at one point dream about when I was in the back of my Nissan Altima with 3 blankets trying to cover up because it gets cold out here in Vegas at nighttime in the winter. Okay, so I've built my portfolio. It's increased in equity by 200,000, and I go and borrow $200,000 of the equity from that property. I'm going to take 100 and go and buy some more real estate, because 100,000 gives you another $500,000 in buying power in real estate. Let me say that again. Out of the 200,000, I'm going to take 100 and go and buy more real estate, because 100,000 gives you $500,000 in buying power. Because again, you only got to put 20% down. The other 100,000 I'm putting in my pocket if I want to. So if I want to go buy a car, if I want to go buy some more clothes, if I want to go buy some watches, if I want to take some trips, if I want to go to the Super Bowl, if I want to go to the NBA Finals, if I want to go to the NBA All-Star, this is how I live. Just go through my timeline. And I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm just saying it to impress upon you. This is how the affluent live. So now I've borrowed 200,000. I used 100 of it to go buy more real estate, and then I decided to keep 100 of it. Now, because I borrowed it against an asset, that $200,000 at a 7% interest rate is going to cost me about $1,500. But that $500,000 portfolio, the $500,000 in new rental income, that I went and purchased, it should pay me at least $5,000 a month. So now that $5,000 is going to cover and pay the $1,500 against the $200,000 that I just borrowed. And then I'm going to hold that 100,000 should be able to last me through half the year or a year, because I really don't spend a lot of money on Will Roundtree personally. I spend more money on Will Roundtree, the brand, because I write off all those events. And then as my assets continue to appreciate, guess what? I go and borrow more money, go buy more real estate, and then I just keep completing that cycle. Is there a particular borrower program we use when we go to the banks? Yeah, we teach it in my REI 90 program. Go to roundtreemasterclass.com and you can learn all of these strategies tomorrow. So again, ladies and gentlemen, yes, what's your question, Blackheart? When it comes to building $1 million net worth, I would rather have $1 million net worth than have a business that makes $1 million. And when people say, oh, I'd rather have $1 million business, that lets me know they know nothing about how money works, because the next year you have to do it all over, because your business is not guaranteed to make $1 million every single year. But guess what? I'm guaranteed that people will always need somewhere to live. That is a non-negotiable in life. Here's a case study. Here's a case study. Ask yourself right now, whatever your business is whatever product or service you offer a non-negotiable in somebody's life? Even in credit repair, that's a non-negotiable. I mean, that's a negotiable. There's a lot of people with bad credit and do just, in their eyes, they do fine in life. But see, living is not a non-negotiable. That's why I like real estate. Should I do credit repair or REI 90? You do REI 90 because then you get the education and you get your credit improved. You do the REI 90. Somebody reach out to Blackheart 380. Blackheart, send me a direct message. Speak with somebody from the team today. And would you always keep cash? Because I've heard cash is king and now digital money is more. I mean, most cash, here's cash helps to lubricate your life, but it's not king. Assets are king. Of course, credit is king, but assets are. Because you can have cash, and if you don't have good credit, it costs you more. But if you have cash and good credit, you get your money is cheaper. So it depends on the situation. But again, the name of the point should be, Andy, and great question, how do I get the asset so I get cash and credit and all of the above? We get too fixated on cash is king, credit is king. Why not have both? Trust me, I love having both. And like Sammy said, cash depreciates. Give me real estate. It appreciates. And even if real estate depreciates, the rents don't. But that's why you got to buy in at the right time. Is it true you can get a credit limit the same amount of your asset? They do have asset-based lending, but that's usually for people who got bad credit. Just get your credit up, buy some assets, and then you can actually get you can do a cash out. But yeah, because when you do an asset base collateralized against the real estate, they usually tax you. They usually tax you. I'll wrap up. It's only 3 ways to build $1 million net worth. And again, I would rather have a $1 million net worth than make $1 million. Why? Because the next year you got to do it all over. And here's the thing. This is why we have to know economics. That your business who did $1 million, you don't see $1 million through your bank account, because you got expenses. And to get to $1 million, you probably had to spend at least $250,000. But when you have $1 million in assets, that $1 million in assets is there in 2024, 2025, and then in 26 is now worth 1.6, and then in 2027 it's worth 1.8, and then in 2029 it's worth 2.5. It continues to increase. Yet you still sitting there trying to send out a dispute letter. You still trying to set up that credit repair business. Look, I'm not knocking, because that business has paved the way and opened up a lot of doors for me. But I could tell you now, the odds on you making $1 million in the credit game right now is slim to none. The odds on you making $1 million in the credit repair space right now is slim to none. It's about 1 million people doing credit repair. And then it's a lot of people who not good at it giving it away. And they got to give it away so they can try to eat off of volume. Everybody got into trucking. Think about all of the businesses that most black people tried to get into. Them industries is done. You're definitely not making $1 million renting out cars because you don't have a fleet large enough. You personally aren't making $1 million driving trucks because you got to duplicate yourself. I just want to clean up my own credit and create a business. Hannah B, if that is your end goal, then so be it. But I can tell you now, if you've been trying to do it on your own and getting little to no results, and I don't know what your results look like, don't let it be another year. And I'm saying that same message. You might need some mentorship. You might need some guidance. So I got about 8 more minutes. I'll take some of your questions. If you have any questions on credit, funding, real estate, business, all of the above, life, my track record actually supersedes itself. We got the receipts. Again, go to roundtreemasterclass.com, register for my free webinar, and we will get you registered for the webinar for tomorrow. Go to roundtreemasterclass.com, register for my free webinar. Again, are you financially delusional? Do you think your business is going to make $1 million? What are the best cash flowing assets to buy besides real estate? Rod.Millie, just do the math. You either got to buy a business or buy real estate. There is no other options, ladies and gentlemen. There are no other options. You either buy a business or you buy real estate. Yeah, you can buy art and all of this stuff, which is cool, but all of that is subjective. All of that is subjective. Art is only valued based upon what somebody is willing to pay for it at. Yes, you can go buy gold, silver, but I like things that cash flow. What is a good business to buy? Any business that's cash flowing. There is no good or bad business. But here's what I can say. Do you know how to manage people? Are you prepared to spend $10,000 a month on marketing? What reliable sources can you buy a business or website? You can go to cruxy.com. I think that's the name of it. You can go to buy, bid, sell. I mean, just Google. You guys got to start using the same Google I use. You can find a business broker, Transamerica. I think that's the name of it. They have business brokers. You can also Google a business broker. I just spoke with one of my clients. I'm helping him to facilitate to buy a business that's cash flowing. But here's the thing: just because you a business buying a business that's cash flowing, you still got to understand how to run a business. And I really hope you guys understand that. Need to fix my credit. You have a way I can do so. Like, of course, yes, I have my 30-day DIY. We also have a done for you program. We also have a done for you. So, Sport Head, send me a message and have somebody from the team reach out to you to get your credit to do a consultation. Let me drop you the link where you can go to my site and book a free call. Hey, Will, how soon can you refinance property? I know Jihad got 4 properties. So was he refinancing every 6 months or so? Jihad is he's working on a refi for one of them, and it depends on the bank standards. It depends on if you have a prepayment penalty, but worst case scenario, you can refinance within 12 months. That is the absolute worst case scenario. In some other instances, you can refinance sooner, but it depends on if your loan has what's called a prepayment penalty. If your loan has a prepayment penalty, you typically have to wait 12 months, or you can buy the prepayment penalty down to where if you want to refinance in 90 days, you can. but sometimes that amount to buy that amount down is not worth it. But that's something you decide at the inception of that purchase. But very good question, Derek. Very good question. But here's the thing, because I know sometimes people will utilize that as a reason of not getting into real estate. At the end of the day, Jihad, who's 23, he owns four cash producing assets who are going to pay him the rest of his life. So whether he refinances in 6 months, 12 months, or 6 years, he's going to get paid forever. The kid's going to be a millionaire by 25. It's not a lot of people who can become a millionaire by 25, especially when only 8.8% of people in the United States are millionaires. 8.8. It's a very small percentage. And when you get to Black America, it's even smaller than that. So whether it's 6 months, 12 months, but worst case scenario with a prepayment penalty, worst case scenario, Derek, is 12 months. But great question. Again, ladies and gentlemen, go to roundtreemasterclass.com. You can join my free webinar tomorrow, where I will be talking about how to deal in no matter what the economy is. Because look, some of you lives are going to be changed forever after tomorrow. And the main reason is because you're going to utilize everything that's taking place in the economy as an excuse of why you want to stay in delusional land, or what they call it, Delulu land of your finances. No. Aren't you tired of being stressed out financially? Aren't you tired of your family asking when are things going to change? 10-minute convo with you. Your time is valuable. Don't have much. I don't know if you're asking me for 10 minutes, Blackheart, but you can reach out to my team and they can let you know how to make that happen. So again, top 3 ways, I'll wrap this up. Top 3 ways to build $1 million net worth. There's no other options. I'm willing to pay somebody if they can come up with other options. If you can send me another option outside of, I'm talking about options that the masses can do. Everybody can't rap. Everybody can't hoop. Everybody can't do all that stuff. But everybody can do all of the other stuff. I'm thinking about buying a construction company. Okay, that's good. Just make sure you understand what you're getting into. I'm willing to put up at least $100, cash that to you today. If you can tell me another way outside of building $1 million net worth that everybody can do. We got $100 right now. Anybody, I'll cash app you if you can give me another way outside of the stocks, business, or real estate. I definitely need a new property management before I buy more. Shonda, that's you come holler at me. I put you up on game who to talk to. Life insurance is, but you have to also put the money into the life insurance policy. But I do like life insurance. I actually have several IULs. I like cash flow. Andre said REI 90. That is correct. Box trucks rent out for $4,000 per month. That is a business. And $4,000 a month doesn't give you $1 million business, nor does it mean it's worth $1 million. I'm talking about how to build $1 million net worth. How to build $1 million net worth. All right, I know we're wrapping up. Here's what's so funny, y'all. You have to be a very confident person to post on social media, because I would love to write you a policy. I have a couple, but if you can give me, I'm open to buying more. Here's the thing: you gotta have some tough skin and be very confident when you come on the internet, because you will have people who are mad at themselves at life, who are the keyboard warriors, and will try to talk you off of your throne of knowledge because something isn't applicable to somebody in their life at that time. And then most of the time it's not applicable because they put themselves in that position. They're mad at the world. So now they're online picking at you and calling you names and saying this and trying to discredit you and saying that. And now, like, boy, the internet is a funny place. It is a funny place. I love it though. And here's why I love it, because there's so many people on the internet who would not have been helped or gotten the information that you have access to today if it was not for the internet. So at the end of the day, I often tell people, when people say, "Oh, I don't like social media," it's because of who you're following. Let me give you some advice. I don't follow my friends or the people who I don't. Well, I only got like two friends, but I don't follow a lot of friends and family. And people used to say, well, why not? Because I don't care what they're doing in their lives. And I'm not saying that like on some hating stuff. I say that because I've leveraged social media to learn. I don't care about Aunt Shirley, you know, driving down to Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll text her and check on her, because we've also have gotten away from the whole, like, I don't post happy birthday to my loved ones online. I text them. I don't need to post a picture to show my good friend Plies. I don't have to text it. I don't have to put a picture on social media to tell him happy birthday. I'm more personable. I'm going to pick up the phone and hit Plies and tell him happy birthday. See, I use social media as a real tool and not a place to be nosy or to be messy or to find gossip or to inject negative energy. Like, I don't use my social media that way. And I also use it to make money. So just a little bit of advice to each and every last one of you. So again, roundtreemasterclass.com, free webinar is going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. That means if you're on the West Coast, the webinar is at 2 p.m. If you're on Central time, it's going to be 4 p.m. If you're on Eastern time, it's going to be 5 p.m. This way, I'll be done with the webinar within an hour, so you can go and watch to see whoever you voted for to see if they won. Okay, you can go figure out, and hopefully you have a plan put in place so no matter who wins, that's my recommendation. So roundtreemasterclass.com, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.